Hi guys, welcome to the Daughter Arise channel. My name is Yvonne, and over the weekend I shared on the community tab of this channel that I would be doing a series of short videos to empower and encourage survivors on their journey in the aftermath of childhood sexual abuse. And I put this together based on an ebook that I developed back in 2017 called The Journey. And these are things that I recognized along my own healing journey from childhood sexual abuse, different feelings, different thoughts that came up during that time. And how I've done it is that it's like an A to Z, and based on a different letter of the alphabet, I've talked about something along the lines of what it means to go through the journey. So I want to share with you today from the letter A, and it says, acknowledge what has happened to you. One of the most difficult things I realized over my 25-year journey in the aftermath of going through childhood sexual abuse was to acknowledge what had happened to me. As a matter of fact, from the age of 9 to the age of 22, I spent a lot of time with kind of avoidance tactics, drinking, smoking, not engaging in different therapies in different homes that I was in, because it was just too painful. And there was so much change and trauma and everything going on that I just didn't have the mental space to be able to even deal with it. It was only when I was 22, as I've mentioned on other videos, that I acknowledged what had happened to me after I had a nervous breakdown. And it was one of the most difficult and hardest things that I had ever had to do. Up until that point, I was able to say, as a matter of fact, I'd gone through childhood sexual abuse, but I'd never actually really gone into the detail of it or really even accepted that it had really happened to me, even though I was able to, voice and say that, I had gone through it. Connecting those dots, connecting, not just saying it as a matter of fact, but actually realizing that this experience happened to me was something that was mentally, emotionally, and spiritually draining. Now, it is important to say here that one of the things I realized about acknowledging what had happened to me is that it ended up being one of my keys to healing, because you can't heal from something that you've not acknowledged. As difficult as it is, you have to acknowledge it in order to move forward from it, in order to face it in its entirety, in order to face the consequences of what it's meant for your life. And it's one of the hardest things that you will ever do, but it is the key to your healing. And I know that it can be very difficult without support to be able to do that, but there is places out there and people that you can talk to anonymously where you can acknowledge what you have gone through, and also to accept it. It's one of those things that takes a lot of time. So I want to encourage you today to acknowledge what it is that you have gone through. I know you might not be ready to talk about it. I know it might still be very difficult to get your head around, but maybe you are in a place where it's been driving you crazy inside. You've been living with it, the secret of it, for years and years, and it's wearing you down. It's making you depressed. It's making you feel that, you just can't imagine life any other way, because it's been a burden around your neck for, a very, very long time. I want to encourage you to acknowledge it. Yes, this has happened to me. It has happened to me. It's something that has been painful to me. It has happened to me. Owning it is horrible, because it is a horrible thing to own, but in owning it, you can start to deal with it. And I just want to share with you just a quick Bible scripture that comes from Psalm 139. And it says that God is close to the brokenhearted. If you feel that you cannot acknowledge it to anybody around you, or even to somebody anonymously, you can acknowledge it to God, for He cares for you. He will help you to acknowledge and face those things that have kept you bound for so long. So today, acknowledge what has happened to you. It will take time to accept, but in acknowledging it, it is your first step towards healing.